All right. So, as always, appreciate your time. Thanks for being here. Know that you're very busy, and fitting us in is always something we truly appreciate. And then we also just are thankful for every one of our customers and the opportunities that you send us. And so today we're excited to have Compass Promos, Keith. And Keith, make sure I say your last name right. Barbalato, did I say it right?
Yeah, that's perfect.
All right. So Brett and I did a quick dry run yesterday with Keith. We're excited about what he's going to show you. It's a supplier that, and I even said this to Keith yesterday, it's a supplier that I really like. I love a lot of the brands and the products that they have, but probably over the years, I just haven't done a good job of showing it. And so that's one of the real main reasons that we do these partner series, is to make sure that some of these sources and things that, we may not have these great opportunities to show, or sometimes they just don't fit well into things that we're working on. We bring them to you so that you can really tell us if you see use cases and things that you're doing where there's going to be a fit. So with that, I just want to thank you, Keith, for being here, and appreciate the support that you guys have given us. And there's an item that I'll show here in a little bit that they've provided us that we're going to send out to everybody who's taking the time to join live here. And with that, Keith, I want to, or Brett, real quick, Brett, do you have anything you want to add before I let Keith take over?
No, other than the fact that I just shared the Compass Promos website directly to the chat box. So anybody who wants to kind of follow along or do some perusing around on the back end while he's going through some stuff, we obviously encourage anybody to ask questions or pop in or do whatever. This is fun, open, relational forum. Compass has a ton of really, really cool products that I think could be really beneficial to building anybody's brand. And so that's why we're excited to happen. But without further ado, Keith, go ahead, man.
All right. Thanks for the introduction, and thank you guys for having me. Super fun to be able to present, especially to your clients. We don't often get the chance to interact that way. So as Brett said, I'm happy to just take questions if you want. Happy to take them at the end, but also, just during. So I'll share my screen. I'm going to share a presentation and walk through the website a little bit, but mostly I'll be sharing a PowerPoint to kind of go over what's going on at Compass. So we're a promotional product supplier. We're not your everyday promotional product supplier in that we don't do pens, we don't do apparel, hats, and things. We stick to a niche of outdoor related tools, knives, flashlights. So I think this gives you a pretty good snapshot of just the kind of market we're after in our brand. So really outdoor related. I always like to think of us as like the REI or Cabela's of the industry, minus all the apparel. So you take all those hard goods, all the brands, all the gear and gadgets, that kind of fun stuff, coolers, and that's what we carry. So we're experts at, figuring out the best products within those lines, getting your logo on there. And so I'll dive into a little bit more details on all that. First, a little bit more about the company and my role. So I'm the director of marketing. So I put together, all the visuals, the website. We do a lot of mock-ups and anything to really, producing videos, things to really make sure you guys understand what our items are about. But we have been in business for 85 years. We're a family-run business, which is, I think, really nice. And in this day and age, it's still, there's not barriers of entry to speak to people in high places in the company. Everyone's kind of hands-on, really good customer service, all that. So we're also 5-star rated, A+. These are kind of industry ratings, so it doesn't totally apply if you're outside of it, but within the industry, other distributors like to get us good ratings. So here's what really we focus on at Compass. Besides, like I said, it's really outdoor lifestyle focus, but it's also really focused on brands. So we're seeing a lot of this in the promotional products industry, where suppliers are acquiring and partnering with retail brands. And we've been doing that since the beginning, really. So I'd mentioned we've been around for 85 years. About 40 of that is promo, so almost half. Before that, we were just wholesaling right in Manhattan. Didn't mention that either. We're based in New York City, so in Manhattan. But yeah, we were wholesaling just, knives, pocket knives, binoculars. But then we moved into this space really with Maglite was the first brand that we started a relationship with, started selling them only in this industry. So, engraving Maglites. And then it kind of just grew from there, had a relationship with Buck Knives, Leatherman, and it just keeps going. So we keep kind of partnering with new brands. They see what we can do for them in this space. And as you can see, we have a nice little family of brands here. So Leatherman and Maglite are really probably still our bread and butter. Zippo and Buck Knives are also really great brands that everyone kind of knows these brands. And then we move into some other ones where we experiment a little more, where it's not, it's more of an up and coming new brand, like something like Vapor or Mammoth, which we'll get into in a little bit. So basically what I'm going to do
really quick,
yeah.
Keith, I just wanted to hit on that. And so this is one, to you mentioned it. We definitely are seeing a strong push into brands. More and more of our customers are wanting, I keep saying it's kind of, I feel like very rapid merger of like retail and promo, where there used to be a pretty strong, separation between the two there. And I do, you guys have had a lot of these brands for a long time. So you sort of were on the front edge of that.
Right.
And so we love, that's, among different, many things, we love the products that you guys have, but we do love the brands here. And so that's that.
Yeah. Thanks for, kind of just harping on that point, because I think a lot of the success for us as a supplier, especially in these last few years where things, everything kind of shifted in a major way, obviously, I think people were looking for more. There wasn't as much trade show giveaway, but more employee appreciation, more stuff you can use at home, things that you're going to actually want to keep and not just it's for this event and you throw it away after, or you keep it for a little bit as a token of that event, which, there's nothing wrong with that. That certainly has its place. But what we're doing is more, here's a gift, here's something you're going to keep, here's something a little higher end. A lot of our brands are USA made. A lot of them have 20-year guarantees or lifetime guarantees. So it really speaks to the kinds of products that we're carrying. And it's interesting to see, as you mentioned, there's a big shift towards that in the industry that's been going on for a while, but I think it really picked up, especially in the last few years. So I'm going to go through each brand, not each one, but all the major ones that we do really well with, and kind of show you some of the best sellers, new things that are going on and how people are using these. And I'll try to bounce around through the website as well once in a while. But please let me know if you have any questions. So the first brand we'll start with is Leatherman. These are the best, highest quality multi-tools. They're made in the USA. We sell these constantly. And I think people, if you haven't used a Leatherman, this really is the best of the best. When you use it, it's, you understand the quality once you've used one. You're like, oh, wow, I didn't know a plier could be this good. So a lot of outdoor recreation. Obviously, we're selling this to construction, large buying industries like transportation, engineering, manufacturing. A lot of unions, if someone's interested in USA made, which again, we're seeing a large increase in people demanding that. And then we'd like to point out this last sector, this home and do it yourself, which again was really big this last few years, where people are working from home more, which I think will probably stay the case, where there's sort of a hybrid and people have a little more time to sort of be around their house and take care of things. So that loose doorknob, they have a Leatherman to take care of it.
Two things about Leatherman, real quick.
Yeah.
So one thing is, if you're like a business nerd like I am, check out the podcast How I Built This, which is an NPR podcast. They interviewed Tim Leatherman, who started this company. Cool. It is a fascinating story. Like just the story of how he started this company is something that you will not regret learning, and it will probably make you, if you like this brand now, you'll like it even more after you hear that. And then real quick, the other thing, I know you're getting ready to show some products, and I think we mentioned this yesterday, Keith, so I don't want to get ahead of you. Okay. But when you go on the website, as we mentioned yesterday, there's a lot of different Leatherman products, and we'll make sure to kind of zero in on the ones that are most popular to try to help simplify that a little bit.
For sure. So yeah, so I'm going to feature just a few here, and then I'll show you the website to kind of touch on what Landon's saying there. So LM50 is our best seller, and so within promotional products and retail, there are some differences. So when you're buying something at retail, you might spend a little extra on that Leatherman. You might spring for the $80, $100 one. no big deal. That's for you, you know, but when you're buying wholesale for, you know, 200 for an employee gift or something like that, oftentimes people are looking for, I still want the quality, but what's like the most budget one? And this is it. So even at $60, that is the budget Leatherman. There are a few keychain ones, but they're sort of phasing those out, and they're really sticking with these full size tools. Here's some new ones that, so every year, you know, they're constantly kind of updating things. These are actually retro designs that they brought back. So if you listen to that podcast and they mention the original design, this bond is actually kind of based on that, but they updated it. A lot of them will look similar. The implements are going to be different. And maybe I'll just walk through the site real quick to kind of show what I mean by that. So you'll see, what happened here? Oh, okay, there we go. So I was like, once in a while the site goes down, I'll be like, that would be a bummer. All right, so you're seeing a lot of these look similar. There's slightly different designs where like some of the handles you can only engrave in a small spot, like these, and then some of them you have a nice large area. We can engrave on the blade. There's some black ones and some silver ones, but you're seeing some price differences. We can always kind of help you hone in on like what's the right thing for that specific industry. If there's like a specific implement that would be the right thing, or help you with the price point, or even, you know, this logo is quite large. We need the best space for it. We can guide you that way as well.
When you say implement, just so I understand, you're talking about the tools that are attached. Like that's kind of what you mean.
Exactly. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So this one has a scissor and this bit driver. So those are kind of more unique. And it kind of drives up whenever they add a scissor, it drives up the price point for whatever reason, I guess, to get a quality scissor on there. Where, you know, this one doesn't. So some of them, it's just someone's like, I need that scissor. So whatever one has it, that's what you should show me, you know.
Got it.
Cool. So moving on to Maglite. Maglite is, again, this is kind of the brand that started it all with us. And I believe, I really have to fact check this, but this is the only USA made flashlight, 100% USA made flashlight still in production today. I'm going to fact check that, but I think
you're right about that. I was going to say about these, I have two of the big, thick, long Maglites under my kitchen, and I have for 10 years. And I've always said it helps me light things up. And if anybody ever came in the house, it doubles as a weapon because you could hurt somebody with it.
Well, I mean, that's true. So usually we don't sell it that way in the promotional product space, but it certainly, I think that's how they started. It was like a police kind of, you know, you have the flashlight and sort of doubles as a.
Yeah, the one out to the right is the one I have. I always have two of them under my sink.
Yeah. All right. Good. Good home security as well. So this slide just gives you a good idea. There are a lot of sizes. All the ones on the left are the smaller sizes. We do sell more of these in this industry, but the ones on the right, again, when you're talking about like trucking, manufacturing, engineering, that kind of thing, those larger ones are desirable. I like this one kind of right in the little bit larger size. It's actually, I think, a perfect size for me. It's not too big, not too small. But anyway, they are all laser engraved, beautiful engraving, a lot of price points, a lot of colors. You can do this full wrap engraving that you're seeing here. So we actually can turn the barrel and you can get a 360 wrap. It makes a really, you know, if you do it on the big ones, it looks amazing. We've done some really cool branding with that. And then they do come in a presentation box too, which I think sometimes it's really nice to make a good presentation. They come really beautifully packaged. So when you're giving that out at an event or, you know, company party or something, it's a nice gift.
Two things, Keith.
Yeah.
So can you print the box and the item, or is it just the item?
So it's good question. It's kind of phasing out. We used to do the presentation box. So we would put forget what we called it. It was like almost like a 3D sticker, epoxy dome, I believe.
Okay, yeah.
And it would cover this mini Maglite. We kind of stopped doing it. It was adding a lot of time and cost. We can do it if someone really wanted to do it.
I didn't know if you maybe screen printed the box itself, like above the Maglite logo or something like that.
No, we've never done that.
Okay, all right. So, and then does the 360 option, I assume that adds some cost over the standard option? Okay.
Yeah, there's a run charge on that. I'm not exactly sure the charge.
Fine. So
But
yeah,
yeah,
so if
it
anybody's
adds a buck
interested in
or
that, it
two.
would be these basic, essentially just in general terms, these basic prices that you see there. If you wanted 360, there'd be an additional run charge on top.
That's right.
Okay,
That's
all
right.
got it.
And then so this is our the best-selling Maglite. Again, as I kind of mentioned with Leatherman, you might spring for a $40 flashlight for retail, but when you're giving it away, people kind of just gravitate towards sort of the middle of the road, towards the less expensive one. So we sell a lot of the keychain one, and then this one as kind of the nice kind of handheld one. We do on just this one, we actually did a special print run with our manufacturing run with Maglite, where they didn't texture the handle. So you can see here it's textured. This is smooth, and that allows us to print it. So kind of an experiment that we did. And these sell well too. So if you need full color, we can do that. I think the engraving is nicer, kind of lasts forever. I like the texture, but it is a nice option if it's like, hey, I got this, full color logo, really want to make it shine, you can. All right, so knives. We are the #1 supplier of knives in the industry. So meaning we have the most products, we have more products than anybody when it comes to knives by far. So we carry all these different brands. We have access to the entire line for anything I'm showing you, but with all of these. Now, there is knives that are kind of a strange thing in this industry. It's sort of definitely depends where you are in the country. We don't really sell them in the Northeast, which is where we are that often. But there's certain of those buying industries, like I keep mentioning, the agriculture, construction, manufacturing, where we sell a ton to those industries. So a lot of people are like, hey, I'm never giving away a knife. If you do, we have the best, kind of most innovative, stylish knives, and it's a great everyday carry item. I used to never carry a knife, and actually working for this company, I carry one on me now. It's just nice to have. Mostly to open up packages, I'm not getting in any fights. So I do like
really quick on to your point, Keith. I just wanted to ask. So I appreciate I assume most people looking at this, and even me being in the industry. I mean, I know these brands, but I've never really sold any knives like this. But it, it definitely seems like it would be in. Do you have any off the top of your head? Just you mentioned some general industries that tend to use them, but do you have any like use cases recently that you could? Not asking you to share the specific client or anything, but like what they did with them, so that because I do think that's important. To me, the whole knife space with you guys, it's important that everyone that are our customers know that we have them. They understand that we have retail brands that they're probably familiar with, because I'm sure people go and try to buy a knife, there's concern about quality. The brands would speak to quality, that it's a good knife. But then the third component would be like, okay, but then how are people using them?
Right. Yeah, that's a great question. Use case, I'm trying to think, even just in the last few days, some of the mock-ups I was doing, there was a union. So we do a lot of USA made knives. And so that was one that I did recently. And then an agriculture company, I can show you guys this one. We have one that has a ruler on it. And so it kind of appeals to, I guess, agriculture, like if you're seed planting or things like that, you're kind of measuring with the knife. So this, I believe, was just like an employee giveaway. We do have like utility knives as well, which a lot of warehouses will give away. Can't spell utility right now. So this kind of thing where it's like more specifically, replaceable razors for boxes. So this is more, you can picture like a warehouse getting this kind of thing. But again, those.
I know construction guys use that kind of knife too a lot.
Yeah. But honestly, a lot of like employee appreciation. You might be surprised that would you're giving away a knife that I think within that culture of like people that are excited about knives, that collect them, that carry them or keep some in their car or whatever. These are things that are going to last forever. And so it's just a nice token of appreciation, I believe. Yeah.
Very good.
Yep. I'm going to go into this a little bit later, but just to kind of tie this point, Cedar Creek is our brand. And so we import goods as well. So it's not a retail brand, but you're going to see that kind of throughout the presentation. And it's a much lower price point. So not everyone has the budget for $30, $40, $50 knife. We're going to have one for, in the $10, $20 range. All right. So Zippo, everyone knows Zippo. I don't think I need to introduce really the brand. but they are USA made. They're made right in Pennsylvania, and full color graphics, full surface engraving, or full color printing on these. We just acquired this, or I say acquired. We partnered with Zippo. They do all the printing for us just because they've been doing it for decades. They do it best. So we work very closely with them. We were surprised at the kind of business we're doing with Zippo. I thought, when we took it on, it's like, well, it's a great brand. And they approached us, definitely, let's do it. But we weren't expecting to be like home run item brand for us. And I think there's something has shifted. There's certainly a cannabis market, depending on your state. But I think it's just shifted away from this is just for cigarettes. I think it's gone into, it's an everyday item to have. It's a collectible item. It's really, you can do really beautiful designs and make something really unique. We have a ton of fun just coming up whenever anyone approaches us for Zippo mock-ups. We'll send 4, 5, 6 mock-ups and, try to do them as many as we can in different ways. So this has been great. Certainly I understand, again, sort of like knives, maybe lighters aren't for everybody, but certainly a cool product.
Well, I would say one thing I'd say here, and my dad is not on this call because he's actually at the live event. My dad got into this industry because of Zippo, and that this is a brand that has definitely had a rocky road, I'd say, over the last 30 years, going from probably one of the kings of our industry to not, and I think that had a lot to do with just the sentiment around smoking and,
right.
taking things on planes and all kinds of sort of lifestyle things that have shifted and changed over that period of time. But it's crazy that, there's still that's still Zippo. It's still a powerful brand. And if you want a lighter, and to your point, for, whether it's smoking cigars or, lighting can or whatever the application is, I know people that still collect the Zippo lighters from when my dad did them in the 80s and 90s. And, so it's still kind of an interesting item to consider.
Yeah. And I guess maybe there's some kind of resurgence, like you've been saying, that it was kind of bigger, maybe, a few decades ago, but I think things come in cycles. So it's coming back in vogue. All right, so they are branching out into some other things. You have candle lighters. This one I want to just kind of focus on the electric candle lighter, which I will show. We have a version of this as well for half the price. But if you want a Zippo branded candle lighter, this is super awesome. If you haven't seen one of these, it's USB rechargeable. And basically there's a little electric current that goes through these prongs here. And that electric current is hot enough to light anything. So a candle will light up in a second as soon as you put it up, touch it to it. So really cool item. A lot of people haven't seen it before. And then just a universal product because people like lighting candles. And then as I mentioned, kind of moving into some other space. So they're getting more into like outdoor kind of things as well. So you have a heat bank here, which is a hand warmer and power bank. We sell a ton of these for the holidays. Again, really, I think, who wouldn't want this as a gift around the holidays with their branding on it? We can engrave them. We can do full color, really nice size, and higher price point, but it's a super high quality piece. I've been using one for the last, I guess, 2 winters. Still working like a charm, and these are great.
And that's actually one of my favorite lines or favorite items in the line from Compass are these heat banks because of just how just resourceful and cool they are. Yeah. Branding is awesome, and they just be able to have with you wherever. I mean, it works great not only for the job site, but for music festivals or whatever, just to have with you for those colder months. It's just awesome.
And you just stick that thing in your pocket, and it just kind of warms your hands, right? Like those things that you'd buy, those little packets that you shake up and,
exactly. So you can hold it, you can keep it in a pocket. This 9-hour one, so literally that means that on a full charge, it can be hot for 9 hours before you would have to recharge it. It's going to really last you all day. There's different heat settings. You can make it like almost burning hot to like just mild. So just depending on what you want.
Very good.
Yeah. All right. So Night Eyes is a bold claim here, but products guaranteed to improve your life. So they are very inventor driven. The guy that owns the company, another cool story, kind of like Leatherman, where this guy's just this innovative inventor. So they're always coming up with new, very cool products. This has been our bestseller for years now. So I think it has some classicness to it at this point. standing the test of time.
This is one thing I want to say too, Keith, and I know you're going to show that here in a second.
Yeah.
But and Brett said this yesterday. This video, see, this is such a classic example of where these types of things to me have a lot of value, even for me. If I saw that item, just a picture there, you're looking at it's like it's cool. What do I do? But then you get this video that contextualizes it, and all of a sudden I'm like, that's pretty interesting item to consider, because there's a lot of little applications that you don't just intuitively understand by looking at the item itself.
Right.
And I know that you got, this video, and then there's some others on the site that you're going to point to soon that some of the folks on the call might be interested in.
Yeah. I'll just, on the topic, I'll just shoot over there real quick. So we do have some marketing tools on the site. A lot of it's built specifically for distributors in our industry. But I think it's worthwhile to point out the video library. So we have a ton of videos here. I'm doing a quick scroll, not to make you dizzy, but to just show you how many videos are here. So all of the brands that we work with, they're going to have videos. We also make our own. And so any of these, I'll just pick one for an example. So like if you click on any of these videos, it's just going to pop up and start playing immediately. They're all hosted on YouTube, so you can grab the YouTube link, send it around the office or to whoever, makes decisions about this kind of thing. But just a good way to see what's going on, educate yourself. We're always happy to try to get samples in people's hands, but I think this is a good first step to really seeing what it is.
Yeah, so that item you just showed just happens to be the item that we've got to send to folks who've joined the call. And then just to clarify, when Keith says, a lot of this stuff is targeted, basically targeted at us as,
Right.
their partner. But these videos are universal, and I think are very helpful to contextualize some of these items.
Yeah. So anyway, with this product, it's TSA friendly. It's a good give back. Half a dozen tools on a really small keychain item. So great seller from them. And then just some more examples of the kind of stuff they're doing. A lot of carabiners. This one is a carabiner and bottle opener on both sides. And then this one's my favorite here in the middle. This is a credit card tool. So it's a cash wrap. So it's a wallet. So I've replaced my wallet, very minimalist wallet now, has the cash wrap. I've been using this 3 years and that cash wrap is still in perfect condition, not stretched out or anything. And I do use the tools on there. There's actually a scraper on here and I've used it, take my registration off my car when I need to or something like that. So. All right, just trying to pay attention to time too. This is 10:33. All right, so Empowered.
We're in good shape. So
Okay, cool. So Empowered makes solar powered inflatable lanterns. There's a give back here. So Empowered is a B Corp. They're actually right in Brooklyn. So we, train right away. We partnered with these guys, really cool company, startup. And what that give back is, I'm going to let this video play so you can sort of see the product. But explain this give back. So 10% of what you purchase. So if you purchase 10 of these lights, one is going to get donated to a give back program. And what that program is if there's a natural disaster somewhere, they're sending lights, so you have renewable lights source. If even, developing nations, so you have schools and hospitals in developing nations that maybe don't have electricity and now are able to use these and be able to light up their hospital at night. So really cool resources on that. I can get you guys any information you want on that. But as you're seeing, I think the video kind of explained it. If you're watching, you blow it up. It's a really nice lantern. I actually use one around my house like pretty often as like a night light and take it when I travel, and just kind of a nice light. Definitely great if you're going camping, put it in the tent or something.
That's a cool item.
Yeah, it's a great line. There's a lot. You know what? I'll just show the website for a second. There are a lot of different ones as well. So it's not just that one basic one that you're seeing. There's kind of different sizes, shapes, different colors. This is that candle one that I really like because I just use this around my house for the ambient lighting. But they also have like USB rechargeable ones that act as a power bank, so you have two-way charging. So you can, get some power from the sun and then charge your phone with it, which is pretty cool. And then this one here is this work light. And this operates where that tail is like, it's somewhat rigid, but it's also flexible. So you can then wrap it around things. Makes a really cool work light. You can almost use it as like a desk light and shine it down on your, what you're working on. So and then some string lights. So they have really cool stuff. All right, so back at it. So with Mammoth, these are, this is a pretty new brand of coolers and drinkware. I was talking to you guys yesterday about this, but this, I mean, it's kind of it's a comparable to Yeti. You know, it's not quite that, it's not that name recognition. It's still very new, but as far as the quality and the types of items, it's right up there. We've been watching like all of these comparable videos of like people taking 30 different cooler brands and putting them through the test, you know, dragging them out on the back of a truck, seeing how long the ice retention is, all that sort of stuff. And Mammoth is ranking up there with the best of them, including Yeti. So kind of a high price point, but there definitely is a market for this. I didn't know, you know, I started using one and I didn't know I would want or need something like this until I started using it. I'm like, it's pretty awesome to just have this. You can do a 5-piece minimum. We can do one, but there is a bit of an upcharge for it. So all the prices you're seeing them here are for like 5 pieces.
So I would just jump in, and I know we need to keep moving, but
yep.
So just to contextualize this, to Keith's point, I mean, we've had some requests for coolers like this, and obviously the Yeti brand is very strong, and some people and most people are pretty committed to that. And actually, Klaus, who's on the call, we just did one from another company, it's a different brand, but the idea was we're getting requests for these, and we liked this option. And I was telling Keith, I just wanted him to do what he did, which is kind of explain it a little bit, because we knew that there was a chance that maybe this wouldn't be a brand that's familiar with people with folks on this call. But it's a great alternative. And what's been a challenge with Yeti and really, you know, some of the other notable brands with things like this is just getting the product. And so, you know, the nice thing is this becomes an option that from a quality and function standpoint is on the level. And then it's something that we can get access to. Lead times are reasonable, and the pricing is in line with what you would expect from some of those other options if there's some flexibility on the brand.
Yep. Yeah, exactly. Thanks, Landon. So and then their drinkware, we like to really point out there's 13 stock colors. And again, all of these products, there's a lifetime guarantee on for Mammoth. So they really stand behind it. This is really high quality drinkware. The 12 hours hot, you know, 36 hours cold kind of thing. And great options. We engrave it, and it's a super wide engraving. It's not wrapping around, but it almost a little bit, you know, follows the curve. So you have a nice big engraving area there. The Vapor is, this is a brand new partnership with us. It happened right at the end of 2021. So we're still sort of feeling this out, but we're getting a really good response. There are a lot of this kind of product has been around, but a lot kind of cheaper, not as quality. And so this is a really high quality version of a foldable water bottle. So great for traveling, camping, hiking, or just going to the gym or going for a run. Once you're done drinking, it goes right in a pocket. They all have a carabiner clip attached to them, built into the cap. BPA free and dishwasher safe. There's also some sustainability stuff that they're involved in as well. So like if that's important to your company to sort of match your values, they do a lot of partnerships with NGOs, different like national parks and stuff, promoting reusable drinking water and clean water. So they're doing a lot of stuff behind the scenes too, which is kind of interesting that I can get info on if needed. We like to show this one as well. This is, it's a bit of a niche product, but this is a dog water bottle. So if you have any pet programs or if you have a company store and people like ordering off there, this is great because order something for your pet, they can lick it. It's lick activated. So that roller ball at the top you're seeing, once they lick it, water comes out. So kind of a unique piece.
Yeah, I personally love the Vapor brand. I can't tell you how many times that we've gone on a hike and filled up just a big, huge Nalgene water bottle. And then at the, like towards the end of the hike, you run out of water, and then you've got this big bulky water bottle that you're hanging on to.
Right.
And the fact that you can just, it's a high quality product that you can just kind of roll up, put in your bag, and then like be done with it. And it doesn't take up any more space. I just think it's awesome. I love it. Tons of awesome colors there. The imprinting, I mean, they're just, yeah, it's a favorite of mine from the Compass line.
Cool. Thanks, Brett. Yeah. Yeah. 4 color. We can do up to 4 colors. The printing, very large printing. And yeah, I didn't really mention that. Awesome color options. So, all right, moving on to Duluth Pack. These are, I won't spend too much time on this, USA made premium bags. You're looking at between $100 and $600-700, all hand stitched, made here in the USA. Highest quality, has a really what's the word I'm looking for? Like a really just kind of rugged, but also, Americana look to them. And the thing with this though is you can do one piece minimum. So great for programs, or if you're just trying to give like a speaker gift or a CEO gift, something like that. This is where that can come in play. This is a new brand, kind of almost piggybacking off of that. We're really known for USA made goods, so we're always looking out to partner with people that can bring us, bring USA made to our line. And this is a bag manufacturer that is actually right in New Jersey. They do they make everything here, do all the printing, not as high quality and not as high of a price point as Duluth, and not as inexpensive as something you might get from overseas. But if you're looking for something USA made, which a lot of people are, this is a good option. We can do these full color graphics on here, this full sublimation, and we can also customize the bags any way you want. So even if you see a picture of a bag that you don't see in our line that you want to try to replicate, we can actually do that. All right, last brand here. So I want to stay on top of time. This is Cedar Creek. This is what I mentioned is our line. So we import stuff, but we're really experts in this field. Like I said, we've been doing this 85 years. We're not just, hey, let's try out a pocket knife. We've been, we're looking at pocket knives. We're reviewing product all year, and we're saying no to this and yes to this because of the quality or the style at the time. So other gadgets though in there, it's not just knives, tools, flashlights that we're importing. I mentioned our electric candle lighter. This has been a favorite for the last few years. I think it's a real wow factor. You show someone this, if they haven't seen it before, it's really exciting. They are gaining some popularity. So people are, know about it, but just 2 years ago, people did not know what an electric lighter was. So very kind of fun to show off. This takes it one step further. This is a flashlight and an electric lighter. And it has that double arc you're seeing there. So it makes it easier to light things like cigars.
That's what I was going to say, Brett. Are you seeing that as a cigar lighter like I am?
I don't know, man. I'd have to test it out and see how it did.
All right, maybe we'll have to get you guys some samples. But yeah, waterproof, lighter, rechargeable, and a flashlight. Makes a really cool golf item, but great for just having in the home, kind of universal, fun kind of tech gadget. Here are just some quick examples of some other flashlights. Again, there's really nothing fancy about this one on the left, but you're seeing that lower price point. It's an LED light, has a great engravable area. Just to give you an idea, we have, we carry 20, 30 flashlights under this label, but here's like one kind of example of what we're doing. This one on the right is very niche, very specific. It's kind of an old school item. It's just a pen light. You activate it through that clip, and it's really meant for doctors. So this is a kind of a healthcare specific, but that's a huge, industry for promotional products. So that one sells great. Again, just some examples of multi-tools. We carry, as I said, probably 30, 40 different ones. Here are just a few that are new and I think interesting. This one on the right is, you're kind of seeing that Leatherman vibe to it, but you're seeing, kind of half the price. And then the one on the left, more like a Swiss Army kind of style, a keychain one. And again, much lower price point than that. A few more items here. So these are card-shaped multi-tools. These, I think just because of the price point and this large engravable area here on the case, these have done really well. We first started with this credit card one and then kind of moved on into these different shapes. So you get something like a house, a tractor, or a truck. So now you can be really specific to a specific industry. And then last but not least, this is, as Brett and Landon were kind of mentioning, we did a promotional piece for them on this with their logo on there. But this is 17 tools. It's one little keychain device. This has been selling exceptionally well, just as a unique kind of interesting gadget that people don't have. And surprisingly, it's not just like a gimmicky thing. I actually have this, it just sits right in like the easy compartment to get into in my toolbox. And I've had a lot of use for it that I didn't actually expect, to be honest. So it's a nice, really high quality piece and a great branding on there to put your logo. So that's Compass in a nutshell. There's much more to our line, but those are kind of the highlights. Brett and Landon, I don't know if you have anything.
It's excellent. One of the things I think I'm back on video here. I was going to kind of show. So we showed that tool. Can everyone see this? I can't really see myself at the moment. Here.
It was
like
in there.
that.
There you go.
Pretty good. So hopefully you can see the engraving in the center, but this is the item that we'll be sending out to everyone. And then the other thing I was gonna, okay, now I can see myself. Sorry, I was like, and it's kind of fuzzy, I know. But here's another thing I was gonna, so this is kind of a personal thing of mine. My father-in-law and my brothers-in-law, we all go on a fishing trip every May down to Kentucky Lake, and I was wanting to do a Leatherman for them, but I love them, but not that much. And so, and even with Mike and Keith trying to help me out on the cost, we just couldn't get the cost where I needed it to be. So I went with a Cedar Creek item. This is, I think, to the 5200, Keith.
Yep.
And so this is sort of a Leatherman alternative, and you can kind of see they lasered it with this little logo that we came up with, says Fishing Trip. But then this thing, turns into, and it's got, the different tools on the inside and stuff. So this is an item that I just did. I did like, a relatively short run of these. And it's just because of the industry, because of the business that I'm in, it's just become a thing. When I go on this trip, I'm kind of expected to bring everybody a cool gift to sort of memorialize the trip. And that's, so this is what all the guys on the trip will get this year. And it makes sense. I'm not a fisherman by any means, but I do know that by being on the boat, they use pliers for these hooks and different things. So I'm still learning. But I really, I think this is a great example, though, of the Cedar Creek brand coming in and providing a high quality product at a price point that worked for my need. So, again, I know we're over time a little bit. So does anyone, I'll just very quickly, does anyone on the call have any questions? I know there, Brett, you've been posting some things in the chat. And then do you want to add anything, Brett, before I kind of wrap us up?
No, I think we did great here. I mean, tons of brands. One of the brands that we didn't touch on that I really love is the Victorinox Swiss Army, the Swiss Army knives and stuff like that. Love those guys. But feel free to just peruse around the website, hover over the products, look at their brands, and just go have fun. I mean, the use case, I mean, there's a lot of like niche products out there that don't necessarily work for a lot of areas or use cases, but a lot of those products can also kind of be thought through in a unique way, kind of like what Landon did with his fishing trips, where you're like, okay, I've got 100 guys. I don't want to give something, but this event that we've got coming up for this, I don't know, team building or whatever, this tool makes perfect sense as a giveaway or as a leave behind for those guys. And I really want to do something cool for them. But yeah, no, outside of that, I guess we can just kind of open up the questions from our people.
Yeah. So, feel free to kind of unmute and ask and type something in. But Keith, thanks for your time. Appreciate it very much. I think this is very helpful. Everybody that's on the call, as always, thanks for your time. And then, please get with us. We're happy to send samples. With laser engraving and things like that. Sometimes it's easier at some, with some cost to do like spec samples or pre-production samples. If you want to see like a finished product, don't want to get too far out over my skis, but I know, Keith, you guys can work with us on that. So,
yeah, absolutely.
Just, another example of a lot of brands and a lot of product that we think will help as you guys are all trying to, create loyal, customers and engaged employees, which is really, what all of us are trying to do. So if no one has anything else, we'll go ahead and wrap up and thanks again. And next month, really quick, we have, we might be actually taking a little bit different approach to the partner series in general for the second quarter. But I believe it's discount marketing products. Do I have that right, Brett?
As far as I know of, I don't know.
Yeah, I think that's right. We shifted it around a little bit, but it's, as things are warming up, outdoor events, they've rapidly become our go-to for like outdoor tents, the sort of accordion fold tents, and then retractable banners and things like that. So keep that in mind, and we'll be sending information to sign up for that. But thanks again, Keith, Compass Promos, Mike Levy too, who has been helpful in the process, and we look forward to working with you guys on some things here real soon.
Thank you, guys. Thanks for having me, and thanks everyone who came and spent the time today.
All right, everybody have a great day.